You know what is crazy to me? Well, shouldn't really shock me. But we have been indoctrinated into believing what is right, what is wrong, what we should accept and what we should not accept. And because of this is the reason why guilt and shame exists, to the point that we're always on our toes and wondering, are we going to be praised or criticized? And because of this, causing the existence of guilt and shame, this is the reason why a lot of people in the world think that there's something wrong with them, to the point that they believe they're not worthy of what they desire, and for the reasoning of why they're here. But on today's video, we're going to dive into understanding 4 ways to overcoming guilt and shame, knowing the differences between them, the meanings behind them, and honestly, what they are trying to teach you underneath the surface in order for you to evolve and gain your power. And I guarantee you, this is going to be for you if you're in a place where you're just tired of abandoning yourself and wanting to truly know what real self-love. What is gooch gooch? Beautiful Awaken Ones. Welcome back to the Awaken Ones community. So glad to have you here, and I hope you're having a blissful day so far, because it's only about love and light, boo boo. Don't get me wrong, there is darkness in the mix of this, so we got to add it to the equation because it's all part of the evolution and the ascension process. Hence the Embracing the Ascension series. So if you're new to this channel, welcome. Glad to have you here. My name is Brittany Fontanez. I am an intuitive shaman healer. I am a psychic tarot reader. On this channel, I speak about spiritual development, emotional awareness. I do guided readings for each zodiac sign, and I talk about things I feel need to be talked about because it's our divine right to know more than what we have been told. And well, boo boo, what we have not been told is the fact that we're unconditional loving beings. And that's the things that we have forgotten. Because, like I said, there has been so many paradigms that have been programmed within us to only see the worst in life, to only see the bad in everything and everyone, to the point that's really a reflection of how we see ourselves unconsciously. And because of this, we walk around feeling like we're broken, like there's something wrong with us. And it's because of guilt and shame. Now, like I said in the beginning, we were taught at a very young age, what to accept and what not to accept, what is good, what is bad, what is right, what is wrong, all of this, putting things in a box, categorizing things and labeling things. Hence why we're always in a state of comparison or always in competition, to the point that we abandon ourselves and we never recognize who we truly are and what we truly need, because we're always trying to fit in. And because of this, always trying to fit into something that we think we must be a part of, we start to see ourselves like, maybe I'm not meant to be here. Maybe God made a mistake. Maybe there's something wrong with me. Or, when things repeat patterns, same people come into your life, same things happening, you start to wonder, is there something wrong with me? But today, boo-boos, I'm here to tell you that there's nothing wrong with you. There is nothing wrong with you. And here's another thing. There's nothing wrong with the world. And I know you may think so many different things about that, but let's have an open mind and an open heart, most importantly. What I want to share with you today is that there's absolutely nothing wrong with the world. Because when you start seeing that there's nothing wrong with you, then you'll start seeing that there's nothing wrong with the world. Now, I'm not saying to be naive or egotistical and not make your wrongs right, or being humble and learning from your mistakes and your consequences. No, what I'm really trying to share with you is that underneath the surface, the reason why these such emotions and experiences that we deem bad happen is because it's here to help us evolve. And I want to share with you that there's nothing wrong with you. The reason why you feel this way, the reason why you have these thoughts about yourself, the reason why you talk to yourself in a certain way is because you were programmed. You were programmed. And I know that may sound like so demented and so evil and sound like something that happens in a movie. We have to understand we're energetic beings. We're energetic beings. We absorb vibration, we absorb codes, we absorb everything within us. We're like sponges. Not just babies are sponges, we are sponges because we can absorb or repel anything. That's what makes us magnetic, hence energetic. So it's very, important to know deeper aspects of yourself, because this is the only way you will be able to overcome any guilt and any shame. Now let's jump into, what is guilt and what is shame. Now, guilt is an actual feeling that you feel like you've done something wrong, like you have remorse. Now, what shame is actually completely different. While guilt is talking about, oh, I did something wrong, let me have remorse. Shame is actually thinking that there's something wrong with your whole being. Like there is something wrong with your existence. And let me tell you, I grew up so programmed to believe that there was something wrong with me, and I'll share my stories with you in a little bit. But those are what make guilt and shame. Now I want to share with you the differences and what make them the same. And this is going to sound really crazy of how different they are, but how similar they are. The same way we are. Even though that person may look different for me, act different, have their different experiences, we're existing at the same time. We do have a flesh and body, we have a heart, we have a mind. So there's differences and there's similarities. Polarity. Stop the rhyming spirit. Okay. So let's talk about what makes guilt different, what makes shame different. Homegirl gotta have her notes here. So what makes guilt and shame different is that guilt stems from remorse, feeling bad. You start to realize what you have done. You start to take accountability and responsibility for your actions towards an event or a person or an experience. That's what guilt is. Now, shame though, shame stems from feeling like you're a bad person and like there's something wrong with you, or lastly, like you're not worthy of good things. Huge difference between the two. And you can even feel the vibrational difference between the two. With guilt, you're just like, you feel like, damn, I gotta own up to something. But shame is just like hunched over and be like, what is wrong with me? And that's the crazy thing. A lot of people don't understand the hunching of when people hunch. The subconscious meaning of that is that you think there's something wrong with you. Like you have a lot of shame, like you're carrying a lot of burdens, like you have to take on the responsibility of the world and everyone, and there's nothing you can do about it because you think you're not lovable. Ain't that some shit? We're gonna get a little deeper, you guys. We're gonna get a little deeper into all this. So I'm excited to share this with you guys. But those are the differences. Now, here's the crazy thing I want to blow your mind with. Because this is how intelligent we are, but this is how this helps us evolve into our intelligence. And I love how intelligent the universe is, because even though things may seem bad or evil, there is a deeper purpose and a meaning behind it. And even though you may deem it evil, the universe may not deem it evil. Because even though a lot of people think the universe doesn't care, reads energy, I believe we live in a loving existence to the point it knows exactly what it's doing, to the point that things that we deem wrong is actually right in the eyes of the higher power, because it's here to help teach us and grow. Ain't that some shit? But so what makes, oh my God, where'd you go? There we go. So what makes guilt and shame the same is that because these feelings both happen at the same time, they were labels towards you as a belief to determine what is good and bad. Now, which affects, here's the crazy thing. Since because these feelings both happen at the same time, when you feel guilt, there's shame. When you feel shame, there's guilt. Hence, like, a lot of people don't know, shame stems in the sacral chakra. This is why a lot of people have like gut weight. And guilt stems from the solar plexus chakra. This is why people have a lot of weak wills, meaning they don't know how to have a backbone or stand up for themselves. Ain't that some shit? So when you feel guilt or shame, they both happen at the same time. And it's because they were labels towards you as a belief to determine what is good or bad. And here's the crazy thing, like I was just saying about the chakras, which since these were labels towards us about what is good or bad, and in this sense we feel them both at the same time, it affects our self-esteem and our daily experience. That's the crazy thing, meaning that shame and guilt exist because when you were born, you were taught to determine what is okay and what is not okay. And your self-esteem was shaped by your daily experience of being praised or criticized, being judged or loved. This is why a lot of people, when it comes to relationships, they believe that they're not worthy of love, hence they always have to chase it, because maybe at a younger age, they were only praised when they were being someone that they were not, and criticized for standing up and being who they truly are. This is why that nice people mentality is really just a false mentality to try to manipulate people into liking you for who you are not. And at the end of the day, it hurts you because you're attracting things that you know don't serve you, because you're not being who you truly are. And see how this all intertwines? How it all intertwines and it all starts to make sense. But the reason why I'm sharing all of this with you, because I want you to indulge in becoming self-aware and to becoming aware of your emotions. Because when you're aware of your emotions, you grow your emotional intelligence. When you grow your emotional intelligence, you master yourself and you master your experience. It's not just about thought. It's not just about mind, you guys. Just understand the body is a mind itself. The heart is the subconscious. All your traumas, all your emotions are within your body, not your mind. We have to understand we're not just a mind. We're a being, a vessel, existing as a wholeness. Not just a oneness, a wholeness. Oh, spirit getting into it. I love this. I love this. I'm just channeling heavy right now. I love it. But ain't that some shit? So, like, knowing all of this will help you start to understand why these emotions are coming up and what they're trying to teach you and share with you in order to not only take back your power, but to unbind yourself for these false beliefs that are not even yours, that you probably have picked up. Because here's the crazy thing. Majority of the trauma that we experience, the majority of the anxiety that we feel was actually other people's. Hence why when we grow up, like I said in that example with relationships, why we believe that we have to chase people in order to love us is because at a young age, that's what we did to get our parents' attention. And that's what we deemed being lovable. So we grew up trying to be nice and be somewhere we're not, so we could receive that false love that's unhealthy from that false belief that is not true about you. Hence why this is where we're going to get into, finally, 4 ways of how to overcome guilt and shame. And like I said, the reason why I wanted you to be educated on everything I just shared with you, because you'll start to see how it all intertwines with trying to teach you how to level up and how to start honoring your existence, who you are, what you bring to the table, and start honoring yourself as a gift, because you fucking are. Hence why there is a thing called the present moment right now, because you're a part of the present, because you are the present. I mean, let me stop. Let me not stop. Speak some facts, spirits. But let's get into it, you guys. Let's get into it. Oh, so before we actually get into, I actually say it while I'm sharing this stuff. So the 4 ways of how to overcome guilt and shame. This is the very, very first one, and the very most powerful one. But this all takes critical self-awareness. And honestly, it just takes you loving yourself enough to say, I don't want to be this person and have these experiences anymore. Not because, I hate myself. It's because I love myself enough to desire change and to want better. And I want you to do this from intention of learning to love yourself, not judge yourself anymore. So the first way to overcome guilt and shame is stop comparing yourself. I know it's easier said than done, but this is going to be the easiest way that you can do this in order to overcome guilt and shame. Stop comparing yourself and start seeing how you stand out. For a long time, I never understood why. I always knew that I'm the type you can't put in the category. When you meet me, I'm like a chameleon. I could blend with the crowd. I could blend with people. I could literally like talk to anyone and everyone, and I could just blend with who they are to their vibration. And in the beginning, that was bad because I didn't know I was an empath, absorbing people's energy. Because, you know, when we are in trauma or have experienced emotional unavailability or chasing or, you know, abandonment wounds or codependencies, you know, we have the tendency to abandon ourselves, to try to walk on eggshells, to fit in with other people and tune into them so you can feel like you're someone. You know, for a long time, that's what happened to me. You know, I was always, you know, fixated on other people, what they're doing, who they are, and how they live, and, you know, just comparing myself so much. And I always knew there was something so unique about me because people will, I don't, like, I'm just gonna be honest with you guys. Every time I walk in a room, anytime where I'm anywhere, I'm going into Walmart, walking into a dance or something or at a wedding, I'm always eyes on me. It's like people have to turn heads to look at me. And for a long time, I thought, you know, I was paranoid. I thought, like, what is it? There's something wrong with me. People are attacking, people are judging me. And it's because I've been so hyperactive when I was a child that I was always consistently judged and having to walk on eggshells because I was always consistently criticized from my parents, from family, from friends, from bullies. Everywhere I went, I was consistently criticized. So it was to the point that I abandoned myself so much. So, you know, the way it's helped me to overcome guilt and shame is to stop comparing myself and start to see what makes me stand out. And that's the importance. What makes you stand out? If you feel the way that I just explained, you know, always walking into a room and wonder if people like you, start wondering if you like people. Start wondering to see what is there something about you that you don't see in other people. And this is not about comparing. This is not about being better. This is not about overestimating or underestimating. This is about really starting to see your uniqueness. It's really starting to the beginning stages of being truly self-aware. What makes you you? What makes you stand out? What is the reason why people judge you? You know, people call me a troublemaker all the time. Here's the thing, I'm a little feisty. But the reason why I'm feisty, the reason why people say I'm rebellious is because I stand up for myself. I have fucking integrity. I know my worth. I know what I stand for. I know what I bring to the table. A lot of people don't like that shit. So therefore they deem it bad. So that's the first way to overcome guilt and shame is to stop comparing yourself and start seeing how you stand out. And not compare yourself to anyone the same in a way where, yeah, someone may have similarities towards you, but really start to see how God sees you. Why did the universe make me? Perfect way to start out. Now, the second way to overcome guilt and shame is, oh, this is a big one, but I know this is really going to hit a chord with all of you. Stop trying to force things to happen. If it does not want you, then it's not meant for you. Stop trying to be known. Stop trying to be seen. Here's the crazy thing. The reason why there is guilt and shame when it comes to trying to force things is because, well, let me go back to the first one, is that, you know, when you stop comparing yourself, you stop having shame for who you are, and you stop feeling guilty for trying to fit in. Now, for the second way, stop trying to force things to happen. The reason why we want to fit in, the reason why we want to be seen, the reason why we want our family to see us. Like me, for example, for a long time, I was doing YouTube, I was doing spirituality, I was doing entrepreneurship, and everyone were laughing at me. Everyone was questioning me. Everyone thought I was crazy. Everyone thought I was weird. But guess what? Everyone's on the motherfucking train now. everyone is actually humbly going on the train now, and they're like, oh. And for a long time, I was trying to force people to see me. Even relationships, I was chasing after people that obviously showed me they didn't fucking want me. But I couldn't get the memo because I was trying to force myself to be seen, that I was a good person, that I have a lot to offer, that there's something about me that you never have within anyone else. or there's something that you would never see or hear until you see and hear me, you know? I always try to force myself to be seen by my family, by lovers, by friends, by strangers. And to the point I'll try to even show off. And I know we have all these tendencies, but the way to overcome guilt and shame is stop trying to force things. We only try to force things and people to see us is because we have shame in the fact that we think looking at ourselves that there's something not good about who we are, because we go reminiscing on the things we done bad as a kid or the things that happened to us, and we start saying, you know, that's my karma, I deserve this, I deserve that, to the point we start repeating those negative self-talking cycles. So that is the second way to overcome guilt and shame, is to stop trying to force things that are actually showing you that they don't want you, because it's actually not meant for you. And the reason why it's not meant for you, because yes, there's something better, and it's because that's not your authentic you. You're not meant to be liked by everyone. You're not meant to be seen by the world. What you're meant to do is see you, love you, and express you to the world so you can attract who is divinely deserving and meant for you. So, second way to overcome guilt and shame. Now, the third way to overcome guilt and shame. This one's a little tricky one, complex one. But when I started to really become more self-aware through my daily thoughts, through my daily actions, to purposely want to be present, to purposely want to actually be one with myself and just feel into this moment so I could be aware. Because when we become aware of ourselves, that's when we could start making changes to create what we want and actually unbind ourselves from what we don't want anymore. So the third way to overcome guilt and shame, this is a big one, you guys, and I believe it would be very, very beneficial, and that is the things you say to put yourself down. Are those your opinions, your perspectives, or are they the opinions of other people or the perspectives of the stories that were told to you as a child? Now, what I mean by this is the way to overcome guilt and shame is, like, for me, for a long time, I had a lot of shame in liking women. I had a lot of fucking shame in liking women because I thought there was something wrong with it. My mom told me when I needed her the most that God won't ever help me because I like women. And that turned into feeling guilty for feeling what I felt, for feeling guilty for being who I am. And to the point, I started to feel guilty for existing because I thought I was doing wrong by God. And I've been living like that for a long time, to the point I even recently realized, even though I only am attracted to women, it's like I pretend to be attracted to men because I've been so, dogged on in my mind that I need to be with a man, that it's only right to be with a man. You can't be with a woman. It's evil. It's bad. God won't love you if you do. And for a long time, you guys, I cycled that through my life until, like I said, recently I started to realize that. And I'm like, damn, what am I doing to myself? I'm being someone that I'm not. And I started to realize I was just picking up patterns from my mother, from my sister, from all the women in my family, to the point I was actually being them. And I started to realize, what do I really want? And that's what I started to realize. I really just fucking like women. I can't help it. But we have to realize the way that we are is the way God made us. But we have been so bombarded with these beliefs from our parents and from people I started with as a child, to the point we start to believe these lies, that we start to believe this is who we are. We start to believe these labels. We start to believe in these judgments. Yes, that's what they are, judgments. And for a long time, you guys, like I said, I felt guilty about that. I even felt guilty about wanting love recently. I do want to get into a relationship, but it got into the point I realized I've healed so much because I've had a I had a traumatic past relationship, honestly. But here's the thing. I know I wasn't the good one. I know I wasn't the good one. I know I've done some shit. I said some shit. I've done some shit I've had so much remorse over. But I started to realize I had so much shame in wanting love because I thought if I did bad, I only deserve bad. And I really had to waken up to that, to the point that I even started to realize even more about, the reason why I'm on this path, the reason why I know my purpose, why I know myself so well, because I'm meant to walk on this divine spiritual path. To the point I started to realize I felt guilty for wanting more. I felt guilty for desiring to break ancestral curses, to the point that I started to feel shame for wanting abundance and wanting more. Not in an egotistical manner, but in a way where I wanted to break that curse of lack in my family. But it got to a point, the reason why I've been procrastinating and not going towards what I desire, because I felt guilty for leaving people behind that don't want to fucking grow. And it's just like, we have to realize that in order to overcome guilt and shame, we really gotta see how our thoughts are being perceived. Are we perceiving them in the way that this is who I am? Oh yeah, I am fat. Oh yeah, I am. I've been called fat all my life, and I recently started to realize that was a belief that stemmed from when I was a baby in fucking diapers. Because, when I was a baby, you guys, when I was an infant, I was like fucking 12 pounds, almost 13 pounds. I was a chubby motherfucking baby. If you saw my damn pictures, I was a chubby motherfucker. I was chubby. And I heard that all my life. Elementary school, preschool, elementary school, middle school, high school. Even recently, last year. And I started to realize, here's the funny thing. I'm actually the nice thick one in my family now. Ain't that some shit? People talking shit about you're fat. And now I'm just like, I'm the nice thick one in my family now. And I started to realize, wow, the majority of the anxiety that I feel, how I perceive myself, thinking that people are judging me, all stems from the perceptions that was like propelled towards me as a child, not propelled, that were thrown towards me as a kid. It's like, I just keep seeing this picture right now that I seen like years ago, where it's a little girl holding her face. I think it was a painting or a drawing, and the adult was yelling at her. And even though we physically see her crying, what we subconsciously saw was all those words creating so much trauma, so much scarcity, so much guilt, so much shame. And that's what happens to us as a kid, to the point that we start to grow into that identity and we start to believe it and be it, to the point that we feel so much of this guilt and shame. So that is the third way to overcome guilt and shame, by realizing, are these your own opinions? Are these the opinions of other people, or the outside world, or society that's trying to tell you this is what you need to be? And here's the thing, when you start to be aware of these beliefs, these paradigms, these patterns, these thoughts, all these things, you guys, start to challenge them. Like for me, I recently found someone attractive, and all of a sudden they rejected me, and I started to, the old Brittany would have been like, damn, there's something wrong with me, this always happens to me. And now I'm just like, no. I stopped myself in the middle of repeating that thought, and I started to say, I'm the best option. I'm the best option, to the point I will be the only option. I have so much to bring to the table, to the point I started to recognize little itty bitty things about myself that I love. I love that I have little considerations that people won't even recognize. I love the fact that I care so much, to the point that people think that there's something wrong with that care, but no, it really stems from love. Even though my intentions are raw, people can handle that. My intentions are pure. No, regardless of how clingy I may seem, at least I give a fuck, I started to just say these things to my inner child, to the point I started to shift, and I start to see the difference. I start to see how people are magnetized to me. I start to see how I glow. I start to see the changes taking place because of the self-awareness of the opinions that are not mine, that have been taught to me to believe in, and started to create my own and challenge the old. So you see how that works. I hope that helps. But that is the third way to overcome guilt and shame. Now, last but not least, the fourth way to overcome guilt and shame. And this one is by far the most important one out of all of this. And that is, y'all ready? I know you ain't, but you're going to get it anyways. What are some things you truly love about yourself? And here's the thing, you guys. This takes brutal, radical honesty with yourself. This takes radical fucking honesty with yourself. What is it that you truly love about yourself? This is the fourth way to overcome guilt and shame. What is it that you truly love about yourself? Because here's the thing. Here's the thing. Here's how I want you to see this in order to really start implementing this into your life. You know how you want someone? We all want that special person that gets us, that sees us, that loves us, that gives us all the love that we've been neglected all of our life. You know, that person we dream of having as our spouse, as our partner, and our, in our imagination, what we're trying to manifest in this physical reality. That person that you consider special, how you want them to see you, how can you see yourself like that? That's a challenge. That is the fourth way to overcoming guilt and shame. What are some things that you truly love about yourself? How can you see you the way that you want that special person to see you? The way you want the world to see you? Because here's the thing. This is not about faking it till you're making it. This is not about trying to have an applause or having an audience. This is not about trying to be someone that you're not. This is about being fucking authentic as shit. For me, yesterday, I took some time. I think I literally sat in silence for a good 2-3 hours. Just allow my thoughts to roam and see what comes up. Because I got tired of feeling this agitation within me. And I really, really started to fucking recognize why I really don't give a shit if I have no friends or relationship. And not in a way where I'm pessimistic or resentful, but in a way where wow, I've been so codependent. I've been so attached. I care so much about the outer world, and I forget who I am, and I put myself down, and I make myself feel like I'm lonely, like there's something wrong with me. And I really sat there with myself, and I really had to say, you know what? Everyone's been telling this all my life. How can I be what I need to be? How can I be what I want someone to be for me? How can I do all these things for me? And in the process of doing that, you guys, I really started to see and feel how it is to truly feel worthy of what you desire, to truly start to feel worthy of everything that my heart is just wanting to create, wanting to have. And because of this, you guys, you know what's crazy? That was yesterday night. Today, I was just flowing, but it was so different for me, to the point I was dancing in front of people, I was singing in front of people, I had so many fucking jokes, to the point I was like, damn, I can't even recognize myself. And that is the goal here. The goal is to, in order to overcome guilt and shame, the goal is to not recognize yourself anymore. Not recognize yourself as the person that felt like they were nothing, that felt like there was something wrong with them, that had to feel guilty for wanting better for themselves, to the point of recognizing damn, this is a whole nother person. This is a person I've been dreaming to be. And that's my goal for you. I want you to get to a point where you don't recognize yourself anymore, because you've allowed yourself to see the magnificence that you are, to see the beauty that you are, to see that there's nothing wrong with you. What is wrong, and this is the one thing that I believe is wrong, is that we have to believe that we have to all be the same. The reason why there's variety is because the universe is too motherfucking intelligent for similarities. So this is why there's variety, because there's a broad uniqueness about every fucking thing that exists on this planet, simple or extravagant. But no matter what, we're here for a precise purpose. And your mission is to figure out your purpose here. Now, your mission here is to figure out the mission you need to partake. Your purpose here is to love yourself so wholeheartedly that you enjoy your fucking experience as this vessel that you were given, as this mind, as this spiritual, essence. And in the process of doing that, you will start to unbind yourself for what no longer serves, the paradox, but what serves your higher self, your soul, and what serves the connection and alignment you have with the creator that it created your existence, into feeling that magnificent love that you already are, that you're here to remember because you've forgotten through the guilt and shame, through the criticizing, and through the labeling. So as I say all this, and as I close this out, the whole point of this video is to share with you that there's absolutely nothing wrong with you. When you feel these emotions, when you go through these thoughts, when you see and start to recognize these repeating cycles within your thoughts, within your emotions, within your body, within yourself, that you start to see within your experience, then you'll be able to have a guideline to help you unbind those cycles and unbind the lack mentality, and start to recognize your power, your wholeness, and recognizing how fucking worthy you've been from the day that you were brought to this planet. So other than that, you beautiful beings, I want to close it out with that. I really hope this video has helped you and assist you in any way, has activated you in a way to start taking action and start making these changes to see who you can allow yourself to truly be. But until that, please know that there is nothing wrong with you, and anything, there's everything right with you, because who you are is the way the universe made you to be. So that means it's already more than good enough. Please remember that. Other than that, you guys, if you need assistance on this type of inner work, my link to my website is down in the description box below, or you can message me directly on Instagram or Facebook. But other than that, you guys, I love you so much. Thank you so much for being here, and I really hope this helps. And if you feel if it helped you, please share it out to the world, because this only is going to help expand the collective. And the more that we raise our vibration and come back into our power, the more we can start making magnificent shifts in this world that will help us evolve rather than dissolve. Ooh, that was deep. Oh, no, you beautiful beings. I love you guys. Have a blissful day. I'll see you on the next one.